Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this Prunus Incisa peon. I bought this way before lockdown. It was in full flower, absolutely covered in these beautiful single pink flowers. At the time I told you all that it was not a good time to be working on prunus species or any stone fruit for that matter, because of a disease called peach leaf curl, and that tends, the spores of that tend to get into pruning cuts during the winter time when the spores are at their most active. So that's why you don't prune stone fruit, any stone fruit, plums, apricots, peaches, anything like that over the winter time, but you should only do it when the trees are in full and active growth. So as you can see, the tree is now in full and active growth, has in fact grown away quite strongly, and so today I'm going to start the makings of it into a bonsai. What it will be is setting up the basics of a future bonsai, creating the bare bones of structure into a tree from a nursery stock. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Get rid of a couple of these weeds. And the first thing I want to do is knock it out of its pot, like so, and we can start to have a look at exposing the nibari. Okay, so let's just start nibbling away at the top of the compost, trying to expose the base of the tree. I had been considering this as a possible front for the tree. I'm not sure about keeping all three of these trunks, but this could be a possible future front. We have the beginnings of a reasonable bit of root flare, and some interesting-ish surface roots which can be further worked on as the years go by. But I'm actually quite pleased with that, and I think, yes, I think I will definitely consider beginning the styling with this being the front in mind. So as you can see, I've reduced the root ball there by a good third, and now I'm going to take a slice off the bottom as well, just to reduce the height of the overall root ball. I'm not anticipating there being too much resistance in this pot, but I just cut a slice off the bottom, try not to do too much damage to the rest of the plant. I am going to be chopping pieces off, but I want them to be the pieces I want chopped off, not knock things off, my mistake. Did have my saw here on standby in case there were any really big stubborn roots, but that went quite smoothly. So as you can see, that's reduced it quite considerably. This could be a front, but then the overall branch arrangements is quite poor. I'm coming back to this as a front in terms of a quite a nice nabari, and it's got some reasonable placement of branches up top as well. So I've seen where some people will take the original pot and they will cut it down at this level. I'm not going to do that because I find that, well, it just seems like a waste of a good pot that I can reuse this for something else. Plus the pots then become so flimsy without this top part to hold them rigid. You can't move them on the benches without them sort of falling over, falling apart. And realistically it will make no difference to the tree whether it's at in compost in the bottom half of the pot or the top half of the pot. So I'm just going to take a little bit off the sides. Gone all the way to the bottom nicely. So okay, so now I know that that will fit. I'm going to take it out again while we continue to work on the top of the tree, just because it allows me to see the whole trunk, and I know that when I'm done I can fit the tree into the pot. So I'm going to have to work fast because I don't want this to dry out. I've already done some sort of pre-thinking. I've already done some sort of pre-thinking, as it were, and I don't want to keep this horizontal branch here, so I'm going to just lose that straight away. I might try and take some cuttings off of this. I don't want to keep this piece that's coming out of the front here. I quite like this piece, although it is coming out of the front of the trunk slightly. It is off to the one side, and I think I'm going to keep it and maybe wire it. I don't want to keep this piece that's sticking down just there. That can go. And I'm still unsure about this third branch at the back. I really don't like it, but I'm worried if I lose it then the tree will become quite two-dimensional. I'm going to take back the top part of it anyway, so let's see if that helps in the decision making. That does lighten it slightly. Assuming this is my front, I like this section. I don't like the way it hides behind. I'm going to chop it. Make sure you're on camera. I'm going to chop it. I'm going to chop it quite hard back to that branch that is coming out. I think that is going to look better in the long run. Okay, so moving up the trunk. We have branches that are coming across this way, and crossing in the middle. I'm going to lose those. Just want to open up this top part of the tree. We're not looking at a big tree here, we're looking at a small tree that's maybe 18 inches high down the line. we have here two branches coming from the same point. One that's coming out at almost horizontally and one that's got a bit of a kink to it, and I'm going to keep the one with a bit of a kink to it. And then I'm going to quite drastically shorten some of these other pieces, or at least this piece for now. Dead piece there can come out. Do you know, actually I don't think I want to keep this branch either, so that can go. Let me find a piece of wire to put on that, because I do want to keep that in that position, and it's just wobbling about and distracting me at the moment. So let me find a short piece of wire. Okay, so it doesn't need to be a long piece of wire because I'm going to prune the branch back once I've put it in place anyway, so I'm just going to anchor it around the trunk. And then just loosely wrap the branch. And that will just guide it in that direction. And I think I want it to come a little bit more towards the front, like so. And then up slightly. And then I'm going to prune it back quite hard to there. Okay, so we have the beginnings of a structure. There's a lot of congestion here in the center, so I'm going to take out these couple of pieces. We have a dead stub here to take out, and here. Okay, so now I need to make some decisions on this piece. At the moment I have a piece going back in towards the center there, which I'm not happy with, so I'm going to lose that. And I don't like this long stub here either. Can you see that? We have a long stub. I'll move the tree forward slightly, and so I'm going to, although it has a live piece at the end, for the sake of taper, I'm going to allow these two pieces to take its place. It was a little bit ugly. Okay, so now we have to look at this side, and I'm going to prune it back to here, and this piece I'm going to allow for the time being. Okay, so I'm then going to shorten these pieces. And we have the beginnings of its structure. I'm going to take out this little thin piece there. There's another dead piece just there. Okay, so there we have. It's by no means taking a nursery tree and turning it into a bonsai tree. This thin piece here as well, I'm going to shorten back to a leaf. Don't like it. It's sticking out straight and almost horizontal, but I don't want to lose it either. So I'm just going to put a piece of wire on it and just give it a little bit of shape. And just, that's better. Most people would cut off that extra piece of wire, but I'm going to keep it because I will possibly reuse that entire length, and an extra 1.5 inches of wire as an extra possible wrap around a branch, or even 2. So let's see about getting this back into a pot. Okay, as you can see, this tree only cost me a £5, a little bit of time, so you know, if it dies after this treatment, it dies, but I don't expect it to. And I paid much more than £5 for a bunch of flowers for my wife, and the flowers on this tree were as pretty as any bunch of flowers I've ever bought, and lasted just as long, if not longer, than a bunch of flowers in a vase. So I've already more than had my money's worth. I've enjoyed the time it's taken me to do this, so I'm already up. In that context, I am going to put a piece of wire on this back branch. Not wrapping it too tight. Said before, my wiring is purely functional. It would never pass muster in any kind of bonsai show, but generally speaking, it gets the job done and allows me to position branches where I want them, and that's definitely improved the look of that branch without putting any undue strain on it. So yeah, also I had a sudden thought and a bit of a scout round. We bought some daffodils from the supermarket. Came in this absolutely hideous little yellow pot, and obviously they went into the ground, but I think if I take a little bit more off the base of this tree, I can then fit it into this pot. That fits down fairly snugly, and then I can just fill in around with some bonsai compost. Like so. In case you've never seen it, Cooper is giving me his waiting pose. You think we should go out? Do you? Go for a walk out there? In a minute. Oh, I'm filming you, you know. We'll go for a walk in a minute. Soon. This is what we call silent nagging. I can feel his eyes boring into the back of my head. Gotta love him though. There you go. There's the front. Quick 360. At present the trunk is leaning slightly away, and I will try and correct that in future repottings. Just noticed another dead stub. There, so I'll just remove that. So that's it for this one. Yeah, not entirely delighted with the pot it's gone into, but yeah, these times are not ideal, but they won't be with us forever. In the future I can repot this into something a bit nicer, and it'll look nicer for it. So thank you all for watching, and until the next time, please do take care of yourselves.